What's going on, guys? It's Amster X back with another chapter reviewed. Today's Sunday, so we got to pump out these videos. We got a bunch of drops. Today we have chapter 1190 of One Piece. And honestly, this was a short chapter. It was short and sweet. I think obviously, as a One Piece fan, we all wanted a little more, but I think let's just go over it real quick. Gaban shows up. He saves Luffy. He chops a tree down. And he basically just barks at Luffy, right? I mean, this chapter is pretty much short and sweet. It was just like a get your act together, and I'm gonna, I can't not, I hate to, be one of these Sanji guys, but I'm a Sanji Glazer, so, I mean, let's just be real, Gaban's comparisons to Sanji, this is something that I think he spoke to him the same way Sanji would, but also this is the same way, Zoro yelled at him during, Punk Hazard, right? Where he was like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, we have to get our act together. This is not fun and games anymore. And he's like, yo, if you're really supposed to be this joy boy, you're the emperor, you're the white emperor, right? That's what he says. You're the white emperor, you're the sea, right? You're the Yonko. Like, then why are you getting saved by somebody like me? Let's get our acts together, right? And we just see him just show up like, what happens if you die? And he's like, well, I can't protect my friends. I can't protect the island, right? And he's like, I thought this was a bar. He said, the King of Pirates is a title for those whose death brings celebration because everyone else wants to sit in that seat. Man, that is a bar. That is a bar. Because it's like, because you could also spin it the other way. That like, it's a celebration, the King of Pirates is a title for those whose death brings celebration. Usually when I say death brings celebration, like, just hey, that person lived a wonderful life. But no, he's saying like, hey, like everybody's after you, everybody's gunning for you. But in this sense, it's different. He's supposed to be Joy Boy, So his death is more. And I like how in this chapter Gaban focuses on just Goldie Roger and the King of the Pirates, while as we're reading this, there's this underlying where he's Joy Boy, so it's more than just King of the Pirates anymore. Like Gaban's trying to get him back down, right? Where and I kind of like this, where it's like Luffy is in a sense, like I think even the genie is supposed to be tongue in cheek on playing into this, where like Luffy's like, well, I have this new power, and I'm just so strong, I just got to do it, and I will win the fight. And Gaban's like, it's not working like that, right? Like you have to lock in. And I think it's because you got to remember, like Luffy's so childlike. So I think there is part of them that's still tapped into just believing where, oh, well, this is just always going to work out. And it does. And it does. And I like that it always, I know some people pull like, think it's like a cop out, but like the defeat, the way he loses, it's always to remind Luffy that like things aren't just gonna always just go forward, head full of steam, and let's just keep it going. So I like that he just goes, now stay out of my way, Brad. But I think just Gaban reminds me of Sanji so much, so I'm really upset that this chapter has a break after this. But he says, if you're imagining you can be king of the pirates and nothing but peace, sunshine, and rainbows, save us all that trouble and go home. And I don't know if Luffy thinks that, but I just think Luffy is the type of person where he thinks that his presence is enough, right? Like, if you got to think, like, if he's been constantly moving through the world, gaining followers, just being himself, not really having to, but peace and sunshine, like, hey, listen, I'm going to beat this guy up a little bit. Everybody's going to be on my side. And then now we're running into Emu, who's like, yo, I want that dead. I want you dead. Like, seriously. And Gaban's like, no, these people really want you dead. And he's like, we've run into this where, and I like that, where he's like, they're at this level, right? And I think I feel like, I hope there's this reset, and I hope Emu leaves, because there has to be, and I know people are saying that Blackbeard is going to be the final fight, but I don't know. It still doesn't make sense yet, because there has to be some real fear, right? Like some real threat, right? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've been reading this and I'm thinking like Emu's really going to kill Luffy. I don't really feel even the threat of Emu, to be honest. And I think we still have the other God's Knights, right? Like we still didn't even see um Garling, right? So when are we gonna see them? And I think they are gonna be really dangerous. I mean level like threats where like, oh, you might die here, and I think we need that. And I think maybe there might be some time skip, maybe some training arc after this or something, because Blackbeard being the final, cool. It could be like a 1v1 or something like that, sure. But there really needs to be a threat. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but if you guys know what I mean, like I feel like One Piece has had is that one problem where like we've never felt like in danger. Like think about like how fast like Zoro kind of just like diff King, but he like, didn't diff King, but like Sanji just beat Queen like no problem, like really quick, like and that was built up, right? That was really built up. That Wano arc was built up, and those fights were smooth, quick. Like I'm talking like we need against these God Knights. Like I'm talking about like 3 chapters each of just like Sanji versus X, Zoro versus X, and then like 5 straight chapters straight of Luffy fighting Emu. Like I need something where I'm like, yo, shit, people are dying here. I need stakes at an all-time high. I haven't felt stakes in a while. I don't know, maybe, and I know it's we could say it's shonen, but like that's not true because I felt like Marineford. I felt the stakes, man. I was like, yo, what's happening right now? Right? Like I was like, where did Water 7? I felt the stakes. I was like, yo, what's happening? I was like, is Robin gonna die? Like, what is going on? Like, I was like, yo, Usopp's really not in the crew? Like, there was this sense of believability where I was so, like, thrown off. Like, I didn't even think at the time during that run, like, Frankie was such a vital character in that whole saga, right? But I didn't even think about him joining the crew because I was so entrenched, engrossed in what was happening, right? Like I was like, what? Sanji's off doing his own thing, like, you know what I mean? Like, has anybody really felt truly? Have you felt like that level of like what is happening to the crew right now? Obviously, Sabaody, right? Where everybody that was another big moment. I mean, that whole run where like you're just like. But like since then, like Wano, it felt like okay, we're just gonna everybody's gonna do solo feats. Everybody's kind of on their own, and then they'll eventually come back together. And it's like I don't know. I don't know if I felt like when it was the crew, because you got to think like during that Water 7, the crew was together. They weren't split. They were together running through it, and it was like in peril together. And I think that's what's missing. I think a little. I think Elbaph. Don't get me wrong. I think Elbaph has been great so far because the crew has been together more. They've been way together. Like they haven't been separated as much as these other arcs. But I need them in peril, like together, like as a family, like we saw in Water 7, like where Robin's like, Nami's like, Luffy, like let's go. Like Robin's like in trouble. Like we need something like that again, where we get that spark back. And I think Gaban is the one. He's like, yo, let's get this spark back. Let's go. Maybe even Gaban's, metaphorically talking to Oda himself and saying, like, let's get back into this. So those are my thoughts on also, I didn't even go through the other panels just because I was going on a long rant, but I also like that, you're saying that Luffy's such a threat, then that means that this boy is the man that we've all been waiting for, and I love this little callback. Like I said, he keeps it grounded, just simply King of the Pirates. He doesn't go into the Joy Boy realm. He's not with all that. And then obviously he pops his one ult. He uses his one ability, and he was like, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm done. Cooked. He's like, that's it for me. I'm out of here. He's like, that's all I got left in the tank. So let me know what you guys think on this chapter 1190. We know we're on break, so let me know what you guys think on One Piece. All right, are my comments and concerns, are they wrong? Am I out of touch? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Amster X out.